You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Yay Networks.
Parenting is such a breeze, oh, but it would bring you to your knees if it weren't for Chatty Daddy. Oh, yeah, the Chatty Daddy.
Welcome to another episode of the Chatty Daddies, a podcast all about being awesome parents, or at least we try to.
We got three dads here. We're just trying to make our way through it. Do you feel like you've actually been able to learn a thing or two about being a father? Because I'm still like, I don't think I've learned anything. I've just kind of like,
we're just blowing hot air.
Yeah.
I think we have. I think subconsciously we have helped each other when we've had doubts, and even our listening audience, our chatty mommies and chatty daddies that write in. Because, we talked about last week how I got that look from the dude at the store when I was holding my son's hand, and clearly Kaysen looks like he's 12 years old. He's 9 years old though, and he shook his head at me when he saw me holding my son's hand. Or maybe he wasn't, and he was shaking at something else, but I deemed it to be towards me. And I asked the question for other chatty daddies: hey, when's the cutoff for that? When am I supposed to tell my boy, hey, stop reaching for my hand and be a man? And I got some DMs here, including one from Joseph, who listens to our podcast, and he said, bro, hold your son's hand as long as he reaches for it. F that other guy. I like that answer. I got another one here from Samantha, who wrote, the fact that your son reaches out for your hand at 9 years old shows what a caring and loving environment he's in. Continue to do that. Forget what other people think. Which is how we should go about parenting, I guess. We worry too much about what other people think, and we should be happy with what we have.
I kind of feel like maybe not the majority, but a lot, maybe 50% of guys, when they do have kids and they are, growing up and getting older, that as they get older, they stop getting embarrassed by stuff like that.
100%.
At least you would hope that men emotionally adjust to what's going on around them and say, my relationship with my kids is more important than what the guy at Cracker Barrel thinks of me when I walk out the door holding my kid's hand. But then the other half probably gets super macho and reverses back to what, that the cavemen thought about what being manly is.
Here's what I think happened a lot, and probably happened to us when we were kids, because we're still from that type of generation where our dads were probably trying to make us all manly, or other men were trying to make us manly. I felt like when I was a kid, they made it seem like you were either a macho kid or a macho boy, or you were a sensitive boy, right? And if you were the sensitive boy, that was a no-no, because you were going to be deemed as weak. When in all actuality, if you look at it, you should most definitely possess those. You can absolutely be a macho guy and still be sensitive and be a great person. In fact, you might even be a better human if you can have those two qualities. You see it with a lot of these NFL guys. Back in the day, you would never catch an NFL player or basketball player, professional, crying on a podium, right? You rarely would see that. But nowadays, you see these guys that put in all that hard work, cry when their careers are coming to an end, or cry when they feel like they damaged their team, or you see that now, and I think that's helped a lot with our kids.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Nick, you always say that it would be the kid's friends that actually get some kid to stop doing something embarrassing. Eating boogers was your example before. So now another kid's made fun of him for eating boogers. Your son doesn't eat boogers anymore, something along those lines. But should we care what people think about us eating boogers?
That's true. I guess you do have a point there, Trey. The answer is yes, because that's gross.
Okay.
I think it's gross.
There's certain things, like you shouldn't be picking your butt in public, right? You shouldn't be digging down deep in there in front of other people. That's probably one of those things you want to teach people not to do in public. But holding your dad's hand or giving your dad a hug.
Is there a
where's the line?
You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You say, don't care what people think, except for these couple of things.
No, it's not caring about what people think. It's about just don't be gross in public, right? Like there's a difference.
I see the point, Trey, and I'm not sure I have a valid reason
Thank you.
Other than we all just know that what's wrong and what isn't.
It's a bit of courtesy, right?
Yeah.
It's courteous not to pick your nose in public or to pick your your butt in public. It's a courtesy thing. It's manners.
Along the same lines of this conversation, I was chatting with a friend of mine who has some kids. Okay, he has a kid that's, I guess, 5 and a kid that's, I guess, 4. They had kids right back to back. And so they're wondering, not when is it time to stop holding hands, but when is it time to stop co-sleeping? Because he and his wife co-sleep with both of their kids still in their bed. So all 4 of them are sleeping, and they're just like, well, this needs to stop. We've been wanting to stop it. How do we stop it? When should we stop it? And I know we've kind of talked about co-sleeping before, but it was like someone that I actually know was like, I don't know what to do about this.
Right.
And I mean, I just said, you need to try and do it as soon as you can. You're just going to have to start. And it's going to be hard for a few weeks.
When does that start? Is that just they've always been sleeping in the same bed? Or like I've got Quaid in the other room and he's been that way for 6 months now. Eventually he's going to then start trying to come and sleep with me again?
Yeah, it's probably different for a lot of people. I'm sure some people will start with the bassinet in their room right on the other side of mom while at night. Or some do sleep with the kid in the bed, which is not safe.
Right.
Don't do that. But people do it. And then they just grow up. Or, yeah, like you said, Trey, kids just kind of tiptoe in the room because they had a scary dream or they don't want to go to sleep. And then it just becomes a habit. And
that's when my co-sleeping started, Nick.
Yeah.
It's when my son became mobile. When he became mobile and he saw that if he snuck into our bed, we wouldn't do anything about it. Then it became something he started doing every night. And I didn't want to do anything about it because it's cute to have your 2-year-old come in your bed and sleep with you and cuddle with you and you feel them next to you and breathing. And then they get to 3, 4, 5, 6. They get bigger and their kicks are not cute anymore. Their kicks actually do hurt. Their nails stab you in the shins, And then but then at this point, it's so difficult to break them from that habit.
Because it's been years.
Because it's been years. So my advice, speaking from someone who wishes they would have done it a little bit earlier, because I still battle with my son to try to get him out of my bed. How much privacy do you want to have? The older they get, right? Do you want to be able to go to your bed with your wife or your husband and have no feeling that somebody's going to barge in and interrupt whatever adults are doing, or do you not care? I wish I would have cut it off earlier. I wish I would have ended that earlier and found a way to do it earlier. Personally,
I know that for what my wife and I do, it's a controversial topic among the parenting parents, we lock our kids' doors.
You lock them in.
We lock them in, and they don't get out. I mean, we have a monitor in the room, and we sleep with the monitors next to our bed, a video monitor, so we can see them at all times. And we can hear them if they're calling for us. We hear them, and we can go to them. But yeah, we lock them in. And I'm thinking it might be somewhat time for my son to not lock him in because he's about to turn 5. He's kind of he does come out of his room sometimes. He has like a bathroom. It's like a Jack and Jill bathroom. So like one door we just can't lock. So he has figured out his way out, but he's not sneaking out that much. So maybe we can stop locking his door. But for our daughter, she would come out as much as possible if it was open.
Right.
And so I think for the longest we're kind of training them to think like, okay, coming out's just not an option. So I need to sleep in my bed. But that's a little controversial. I know if they do need help, they need to be able to get out themselves. So I don't know how I justify that decision. But
have you had anyone like in your family or a friend or anybody that listens to this podcast and didn't know that you did that? And then we're like, whoa.
No one's like called me out. No one sent me an angry DM. But I have seen on like parenting blogs and just videos online, just the general discussion of the parenting world that people do that. I want to say I saw... Maybe it was Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard locked their kids in their rooms for a little bit. And I remember she said something and got some flack for it. But I was like, I do the exact same thing.
Dude, I can't even shut the door for my kids. My kids sleep with the door open, and
really?
there better be a light on outside in the hallway or on the stairwell. Because I wish I could close their door. Mm-hmm. I feel like they would get better sleep because it'd be a little bit darker in there, and it would help them. We got
sound machines in their rooms. Get this, sound machines in their rooms for both my kids. And then just to block out all of the light and so they don't see us walking by, we put a towel in front of their doors.
Genius.
And then we put a tiny little sound machine circle, portable like travel size sound machine in front of that. so that they can't hear us walk by. They can't hear the dog if it barks.
Okay,
whatever it is.
Can you walk me through, like, we've done the kids' nighttime routine before. Can you tell me about the parents' nighttime routine? Like, who gets the towel? Who gets the...
Well, it's just whoever's in charge. So my wife and I, we split duties, whoever's putting the kids down. So we just switch nights. I'll put the son down, my wife will put the daughter down, and then we'll switch the next night.
And where do you keep this? I'm
It's
assuming
usually
it's
just
the same
on
towel
there, like,
ever.
yeah, it's just like a workout towel or something that sits on their dresser, and then the little travel size sound machine just charges in their room, and on the way out you grab the towel, you grab the sound machine, and then you just lay it out in front of the crack at the bottom of the door, and sound machine on.
Does everybody find the little tiny differences that humans have so interesting? Like, that's not that crazy, but I'm like, wow.
But
like,
it's a few steps, and
really
there's times we forget it, and we're walking by the door, and as we're walking by, little fingers under the door trying to reach for our feet because they can see us.
So you know that your thing's been working if you don't use it. They get out of their bed. That's what's your nighttime routine like, Trey?
Oh, I mean, well, Kara or I will do the bath, and whoever's not doing the bath, we clean up the stuff. We have a playroom, and we just usually go out in the living room before dinner. So the person that's not giving the bath cleans up those two rooms, lays out the pajamas and that little sleep sock thing, fills up the humidifier and all that while the Quaid's bathing, and then whoever was bathing him puts him into the sleep sack and all the sleep clothes and all that good stuff. And then Kara's always the one that gives him milk, but he has a sound machine. He doesn't have
do you do like a story time yet, or are you singing to Quaid?
Some books.
He gets books just pretty much all day long. We haven't done like story time at night, but he just usually is sitting there looking at mom. He's pretty tired by the time we're all said and done.
Okay.
You know what I want to get for my kid, because I think it sounds cool. I never had it as a kid, and I thought it would be cool to get like one of the night lights that put stars on the ceiling.
Yeah.
So you just look at all the stars. I think that sounds so cool.
Yeah, I had glow in the dark stickers.
Yeah.
That's
those
lame.
are cool.
It's so like I go, oh my gosh, I don't want Quaid to put glow in the dark stickers on my ceiling, but I wanted them, and I was able to have them.
We had that, Nick, for Kaysen. We
little
had the
projector
stars.
with the stars?
It's the projector, and it was the stars, and it would move ever so slightly, really slowly. It wasn't like a whole thing where it was going to create an effect, but it was slowly moving. You could see it. We used it maybe 4 or 5 times. The batteries died. Never put batteries back in it again. It was just in his room forever. Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah, it does sound like one more thing you got to keep up with. One more thing I got to turn on. A sound machine. Turn the light off. Turn the stars on.
Because our bedtime ritual is already too full of activities.
Right.
We all 4 go up there, kids brush their teeth, then they come out, and we all do a little bit of stretching together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we do stretching before bed, and then Kinsey will crack all of our backs. We'll lay on the ground, and she'll do like the back cracking thing.
Wow.
The kids like doing that. And then I will go into Chloe's room and sing her a song. Kinsey goes into Kaysen's room, sings him a song. Then we switch. I sing to Kaysen, she sings to Chloe, and then we go downstairs. But it's a whole... It
takes forever.
It's like 15 minutes, guys, and it's getting to the point now where they go to sleep later, and that's getting in my free time at night. And I don't know how to cut it down, or if I need to, or what to do.
Man, call me a bad parent, but our kids' bedtimes have been scooting up 5 minutes at a time for like the last 2 months. It's just like, okay, instead of normally it'd be like 7:30, we would start trying to get them to like go to bed, but now it's like, let's start doing baths at 6:30.
Yeah.
See what happens.
See if they notice. My kids for sure have at times gone like, hey, it's still light outside. They notice these things.
Daylight
Eventually,
savings time.
Yeah, I mean, it screws us all up, dude. It sucks.
Well, the nighttime routine may get a little hectic. The whole day can get super duper hectic. You got the stresses of work, you got the stresses of being a parent, you got the stresses of just making sure your car is operating properly. All that stuff can start to weigh on your mind. It can start to, make your mood a little bit worse. It can start to affect stuff at home. Well, that is where BetterHelp can help you out, because they have tons of trained, professional, licensed counselors to be able to help you with anything from grief and self-esteem or trauma. Maybe if you're having some trouble sleeping, if you just have, a relationship, you want to do couples counseling kind of thing, BetterHelp is here to help with all of that.
I'm so happy BetterHelp is one of our sponsors, because I'm a big proponent for therapy, and a lot of people don't know what therapy is all about, and you wonder if I go to therapy, I must be broken or something's wrong with me. No, therapy is whatever you want it to be. It could be anything to do with trauma you suffered as a kid, all the way to you're just dealing with some issues at home with your loved one or with your husband or wife, and you just want to work those out. One other therapist can help you out. It's confidential, it's all one-on-one, and it's really affordable too.
And how great is it, JC, like you said, that some people just don't even know what it's about? Well, you can figure out what therapy is about and how you can benefit from it from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go out and have an awkward conversation with a random receptionist at some tall office building downtown. You can do it right from your couch because your couch is going to be more comfortable than the therapist's couch. You can do it on the phone. You can do it as a video chat, whatever you want. And BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available.
If you want to start living a happier life today, as a listener of our podcast, you'll get 10% off your first month just by visiting our sponsor at BetterHelp.com/daddies. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/daddies.
You know what I think the best feature of BetterHelp is you can switch out your counselor if you want to. I had a court-ordered therapist back when I was a kid, and he would smoke a pipe every time I'd come in there. Mm-hmm. And
what?
And now the smell of pipe smoke is just terrible. I didn't like the guy at all, and you're able to switch out your therapist now. Dr. Coakley. Dr. Coakley.
How come every time I hear somebody say somebody smoked a pipe, I forget like old dudes used to do it back in the day, it didn't have weed in it.
Right,
I thought he was smoking like full-on weed in there while doing therapy with you.
No, he was just sitting there smoking a tobacco and stinking up the joint.
I know that I should not pump up tobacco. That's probably not a great thing to do, especially on a parenting podcast.
Yeah, but what?
But I've always kind of wanted to be like the old guy who just seems way more interesting and intriguing if I walked around somewhere with a tweed jacket and a hat and smoked a pipe, like a wooden pipe. Doesn't that sound like that guy's interesting? I bet that guy's written a book.
That guy does sound like he's written a book.
Like the jacket that has the elbow patches on it that professors wear and stuff. That guy seems interesting.
I absolutely add 10 IQ points to anyone who looks like that. Even they could be a homeless dude. I'd be like, I don't care if that guy's homeless. That guy, he has a master's. He's somebody smart. That guy's intelligent. So we were talking about controversies earlier, and there was something I talked on our radio show about that I want to expand on a little bit because this I got some messages regarding this. In fact, a couple of things that I did. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
And it's a good one when it happens right as soon as you talk about it, you start getting numerous messages.
Trey, JC's going to try and explain his way out of something.
I'm not explaining my way out of anything. I'm just going to tell you why. There's always a why to why we do things as parents.
I'm trying to think. I can't remember in the last week or two that something has been super crazy controversial, so I'm excited to hear what this is.
Yeah.
So, number one controversy. I had a sleepover during a pandemic, which is understandable that I would get messages regarding this. But what we did for my daughter's slumber party, her birthday slumber party, was we asked parents to get tested and asked them if they would be willing to get their kids tested prior to coming to the sleepover. We said we totally understand if you feel like this is an intrusion of privacy and you don't feel comfortable doing this, but we would feel much happier and safer if that would take place prior to coming over. If you don't want to do that, we totally understand. We'll find another way for our kids to hang out in the future. But right now, since everything's spiking, luckily the parents were all 100% in. I didn't get one person that was like, nope, not coming. But I did get some messages saying we're taking away rights from people and taking away happiness from people by making them do these sorts of things, which is not the point. The point is to, we're all around a lot of people from time to time. I'm coaching kids right now. My daughter's in cheer clubs. We want to make it safe for them and make sure that we're not passing along a virus that's floating around. And if we do happen to get tested positive, that way we nip it right in the bud and move on. That was the reason for that. I'm not talking my way out. I would do it 100 out of 100 times. The other one is, and this one was the one that I found interesting. I sent my son away because I was having girls sleep at my house. And I got a message from someone saying, why would you do that to your son? You're already vilifying him before he can even have a chance to prove that he's a good person. That wasn't the point of my son going away. I know my son, right? We all know how our kids act and we know who they are and all that. But you know who doesn't? parents of girls who have never met my son. And I thought about it, and I thought to myself, if Chloe, and I've had this happen actually, if Chloe was going to go to a sleepover at someone's house and that person had older brothers, I wouldn't feel comfortable. Nothing against those kids. I'm sure they're being raised right. I just wouldn't feel comfortable. Might be because of what I endured as a kid and what I had to go through and the nature of how it happened to me. But I wouldn't feel comfortable with an older boy being at a sleepover and my daughter being there. And so feeling that way, I thought to myself, why don't I just get ahead of this, and I just want to plan a sleepover for my son and make, that way he doesn't have to deal with a bunch of girls, A, being loud as hell, because let's be honest, sleepovers are crazy. And B, now parents, I feel like when they come over and notice that my son is leaving, would be like, oh, okay, it's just going to be the girls. I also stay away from the girls. I let Kinsey handle all that when it comes to bedtime, when it comes to giving them snacks, setting up anything. I try to stay away just because I don't want parents to feel awkward that there's a male presence around their daughter. Does that make sense? Or am I being just too crazy?
I agree with you. I think on both. I can understand how some could say about sending Kaysen away, how that's like maybe making a problem where there isn't one or something like that. I get that, but I also get not having Kaysen just dealing with a ton of girls and just all that girl energy. Let it be Chloe's night. Send Kaysen away.
It's Chloe's
I understand
night.
that part. Now, when you sent Kaysen away, did you explain to him, like, hey, we're doing this because we want to make sure everyone feels comfortable?
No. Okay. All I told him was, I said, hey, man, how would you like when Chloe has her sleepover? How would you like to have a sleepover at your friend's house? Because I hit the mom up prior to that, and the mom was absolutely. And I gave him the choice, and he said, yes. Of course he wants to go to his friend's house and play video games and not be surrounded by his sister and his friends.
Right.
So the kids don't need explanations to why we do things sometimes, especially when it comes to something like this and something that would probably go over his head, because I don't even think Kaysen thinks about girls like that right now. Like he doesn't ever act like he's like, oh, I want to kiss that girl, or he doesn't ever say anything that is in that realm yet. So there's no need for me to even bring it up for him.
Yeah,
I just played it off like, hey, let's go sleep over at his house and we'll pick you up in the morning.
I don't think it needs to even be thought of as like a vilification of anybody. Like, of course, you don't have to, even in your head, you shouldn't have been, I mean, in my head, I'd go, no, I'm going to send Quaid away because he wants to go have fun somewhere. Like, it's pro Quaid, not, oh, Quaid's a bad kid, but guys are bad around girls. I think you're leaning pretty heavily into it with your line of thinking with like, ooh, I got to stay away from the girls too. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like that's leaning really heavy into like, ooh, people think I'm a bad person. And that, I don't know.
It's not thinking people think I'm a bad person. It's just I don't know what everyone else has gone through. So I try to make it as easy as possible for them to feel like their kids are in a very safe atmosphere when they come over to our house.
Yeah, and while, I think with both of those decisions, I think if you can try to, because those are both pretty divisive decisions. Go get a test. I'm sending my son away to make sure everything is on the up and up, and I'm going to stay away to make sure everything's on the up and up. Those are pretty divisive things, but at the end, I think you can hopefully step back and say, they were made so that my daughter is safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a hassle to go to CVS and get a COVID test for my kid who's not having symptoms. That sucks. Maybe, I'm very pro getting tested a lot. I'm pro getting vaccinated and stuff like that. So I'll try not to speak too much with that side of my brain. But I think at the end of the day, it's, hey, we're trying to keep everyone safe.
We're doing it with good intentions. As long as people are doing things with good intentions, I think it's all right.
You're not saying we don't like your kid. We don't want them. You're saying we want them here. And even though they're around each other at school a lot, but it's just, hey, this is like an extra thing besides school. Besides other commitments we already have, let's just make sure that everyone's super safe, and that's fine with me.
Was this on the honor system, or were you checking papers at the door?
Actually, we didn't require them, but they brought because you could buy these tests now. They brought them, and
oh wow,
they're like, hey, here you go, just to show you that we took it. But we didn't ask them to do that. It was an honor thing. So if they really wanted to lie, Trey, I probably wouldn't have questioned them. But these people are. they're all adults. I don't think they would be trying to lie their way into a sleepover.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's a silly thing to make a big show of.
Right.
I would. Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to kids and all of this, I just don't want to say anything that's like too leaning one way. But it's like, just do whatever you can to keep your kids safe.
Yeah, that's all we got to do.
I think the last thing anybody wants is their kid to get COVID. No matter how you feel about it, you probably don't want your kid to get COVID, regardless of how you feel about the situation.
You can even take the word COVID out. You don't want your kid to get sick.
In general. And it's like, okay, let's just go get a test before they are around 10 other people.
I don't want anybody to get sick.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't want, like, the adults, I don't want them to get sick, because then what if you have to take time off of work, and what if you don't get paid for your time off when you get sick? Like, I just don't want anybody to get sick.
Yeah, there are weird cascading effects that happen if you get somebody sick.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the whole thing.
You don't want to be responsible for that.
That's the thing.
That's 9-10 other little girls that you don't want to, their health. And then on top of that, it's 9 or 10 kids, extra families. So they're brothers and sisters, their parents co-workers.
And on top of that, you still want your kids to be kids. You still want them to be able to socially interact, and you still want them to have the things that we had when we were kids, and have those sleepovers, and have those nights where you stay up all night and the parents are telling you, hey, go to sleep. Yeah, I still want them to have that. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to do it right.
Yeah, and one thing I will say is that's kind of an awkward thing to bring up.
Yeah.
It's pretty awkward where a lot of people probably wouldn't say it. I think the fact that you guys did still... You still ask people to do that, and that is kind of a hard thing to ask people, and it's kind of awkward. I do think that is admirable. Say like, hey, this is a little uncomfortable, but this would make us feel comfortable and everyone else.
Right.
We're looking out for you guys.
I'm just glad everybody responded positively with it.
Yeah, because you never know. Some people could really jump off sides on that one and look at you sideways for a while afterwards.
Yeah. And understandable. I mean, everybody has their difference in opinions, and I wouldn't judge them for that,
I would.
I mean, a little bit, but...
Guys.
Yeah.
A theft happened in my house.
No, what?
Dude, I was so angry. So during the week, we wake up super early for the radio show. I don't normally eat a great breakfast. It's just like whatever I can heat up, whatever I can just throw milk and cereal in a bowl. That's what I eat for breakfast. But on the weekends, I get to kind of make some eggs, have some nice toast with some jelly, some sausage. I get to kind of have a good spread.
You find that box of pancake mix that you bought 4 months ago, and you're like, all right, I'll make pancakes today.
I'll take 2 minutes making breakfast instead of 30 seconds like I do during the week. And so I'm sitting there. I got my raisin toast with jelly, 2 slices. It was delicious, ready to go. And my son, who had already finished his breakfast, came up to me and grabbed my jellied raisin toast, and he grabbed it. He took a bite, I swear, as if this was written in some comedy movie. He took a bite with his mouth full. He said, "Sharing is caring." He didn't ask for it.
No.
He didn't ask for it. He just walked up, grabbed it. Sharing is caring. Whoa, who said this is fine? Is this the phrase you learned in preschool this week? Is sharing is caring, dude?
At my house, if it's my food, and this goes for Kinsey and I when we go to dinner, and she says, I don't want fries with that, but then I get my fries and she starts reaching over. No. You ask. You got to ask. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to me, if I'm the guy that bought them their little Happy Meal, I'm going to tax them on a fry. All right? I'm not asking for it because I bought it. So I just say fry tax, and I take it.
See, this is where I start to think, he doesn't get to work. How does he earn his fry?
I don't know.
Do a chore.
Yeah, okay, but he's probably done chores enough for you to feed him McDonald's, right? If he was, you wouldn't be going to the good place to eat for him if he wasn't doing something right. And then you go and tax him.
I mean, because also I'm giving him room and board as well, right? So he's getting room and board and clothing as well.
But he would not be able to. He would not be able to go and get a loan application from the bank.
I don't make child labor laws or loan laws.
You just make the tax laws.
That's how it is. I make the house tax laws.
Yes, there is no representation for him in the household, JC. So can you fry tax him without representation?
I mean, I've been doing it until he gets a lawyer and takes me to court. Small claims court. I mean, he doesn't have anything.
And do either of your kids are like, no, Papa, don't take my fries, or is there a confrontation, or they just accept it?
Sometimes Chloe's the one that even will just walk up and hand me a couple fries already from the get go. She already knows. She picks she picks the little crunchy ones, the ones that are not super juicy and salty. But yeah.
So Gwyneth Paltrow had a funny quote. She said that parenthood is like you just made yourself a sandwich, and then your kid walks up and takes your sandwich, and you don't even care that they just took the sandwich you made for yourself.
Well, Gwyneth Paltrow, I cared that he took my Raisin Toast.
Care?
I cared. I was just like, well, I guess you could have it. And then guess what? My daughter wanted Raisin Toast because she saw brother got some Raisin Toast.
Right.
So then I had to give her half of my last Raisin Toast. So I made 2 Raisin Toasts, and I ended up eating 1/2 of one.
No.
Unbelievable.
Was it the last 2 slices of the toast?
I mean, I could have gotten up and gotten another Raisin Toast, but then that's just another one minute in the toaster oven.
Breakfast was over at that point.
Trey, when Quaid gets a little bit older, Trey, you'll understand these taxing laws that we have.
I'm sick of people saying things like that when Quaid gets a little bit older.
You'll see.
You'll see. Just you wait.
You
treat him like a human.
I treat exactly.
You would you would tax me on fries?
No, but us humans get treated like that, and we get taxed with our money.
Have you ever bought a meal for some money? You're like, oh no, dinner's on me tonight, guys. Order whatever you want.
And then you take,
and then you lean over and you take one of their, I don't know, lobster tails.
It's a little difficult with adults. I mean, it's a little more difficult with adults. Yes.
Kids are people too. # kids are people too.
Well, that does it for this episode of the Chatty Daddies. If you enjoyed this wonderful content, go ahead and subscribe to us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on right now. Leave us a good review. Give us that 5-star rating. And you can always hit us up. All the ways to contact us are in the description of this podcast. And we will see you next week.
Oh, yeah.